So who wants to be a YouTube influencer? Who wants to be a LinkedIn influencer? I was shocked as I asked kids what they wanted to do for a living. And this is what I heard the predominant career path wanted to be. Some people said streamers. They wanted to be streamers, play games, be a professional Xbox player. They wanted to review toys for YouTube. This is where our generation wants to go because that's what they view. That's what they see. That's what they're influenced by. I didn't grow up wanting to be a YouTuber. That didn't even exist when I was a kid. The internet didn't exist when I was a kid, let's be honest. So I didn't grow up wanting to do anything in regards to public speaking, presenting, influencing, social media. None of those things were things as an option when I was growing up. So today, with the platforms available and the technology that's available, that's an option for kids. That's an option for adults, let's be honest, to literally be social media influencers, to be YouTube and LinkedIn stars, and to make a living at it, to have a personal brand coaching career and a social media class. And you can make a ton of money doing it. Today, my job is in technology, right? I work for Zoom as a distinguished architect. My secondary passion is social media, personal branding, but really my passion is content creation. It's coming up with ideas. It's coming up with strategies and content strategies. It's the cinematography of it. It's playing with lighting and cameras and mics. It's playing with the editing. It's playing with the software. It's playing with all these cool tools that I get to use every day to make my videos. That's my passion. My primary goal is not to, hey, how many views can I get? How many followers can I get? Can I make money off of this? That was never and still isn't my primary goal. My primary goal was because I liked doing it and I was having fun. And unexpectedly, that content creation was actually enabling you to learn about technology. It was enabling me to connect with a community that I didn't even know was there. I've made tons of friends virtually off of being a media influencer. I don't even know if I would claim myself as a social media influencer, but I don't know what the criteria is to make that category, but yes, I create videos, I create content, I create teaching videos, enablement videos, because I love doing it. And I know it's helping, it resonates. And because people tell me all the time, Patrick, thank you. I learned a ton from that. And that makes me feel good. Again, that's not my primary goal. My primary goal is because I enjoyed it, but I love the secondary benefits of all this effort that takes to put in a video. It's just like when kids, even in my era, right, said, hey, they wanted to be a professional football player, a basketball player, a baseball player, because they saw the end goal. They saw what it looked like to be on TV, to be John Elway winning the Super Bowl MVP, to be on commercials, to be in the Olympics, to win a gold medal. They saw the end goal, but what they didn't see is the 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 hours of work and hard ass times that you have to go through to get to the end. The middle and beginning is not the fun part. It's the end, right? That's the fun part. And people only see the end. Most of the time, you're not the gold medalist at the end of the competition. Most of the time, you're not the MVP or the Super Bowl champion. You always are going to have to be working and striving to get to the next level. And a lot of times, practice is never fun. I was a football player in high school and college. Practice sucked. It was horrible. As a player and a coach, it's a lot of work. People don't see that part of the journey. They only see the end goal. They only see the end product, right? You see the end of this video. You didn't know that this video probably took me, I don't know, how do you know how long it is? I'm just spouting off the top of my head. It probably took me an hour of recording. It probably took me 4 hours of editing and probably took me an hour to set everything up and get the lighting right and get the mic working and test everything. All that middle stuff, you didn't see. And that's the part that's hard. Coming up with the idea is hard. Creating the idea is hard. You only see the end result and you get to enjoy that part, but you have to love the middle part or you're not going to really be an influencer if that's truly what you want to do. If you're thinking to yourself, I could crank out some videos now and help my team or help my customers, great, do it. But you're going to understand how much effort it takes. You're going to have to become a writer. because you got to write all these scripts. You have to be a content strategist because you got to come up with all of these ideas. You got to be a videographer or a cinematographer because you got to learn how to run a camera and what lens and what aperture and what ISO works for the video you're trying to do. Then you got to become a lighting expert to set up your key light with the right Kelvin. You got to set up your fill light with the right shadows. You got to set up your rim light with the right glare on the back of your head. You got to set up all these motivational lights and what colors and what schemes work best for you. You got to figure all that out. And by the way, there's a ton of people that can show you and tell you and teach you, but you still have to figure it out yourself. And that's a lot of work. You have to become an editor. You have to learn a software. There's a learning curve on editing. It's not that simple. You really have to put a ton of effort into being a good editor. You have to figure out how to do dynamic captions and closed captions on your videos. You have to figure out how to do ratios with 16:9 or 9:16 on different platforms like Instagram and YouTube. You have to figure out what resolution like 1080p and 4K. You have to figure out what all that stuff means. And if you don't love doing it, you will fail. You won't succeed. Then you got to figure out what rhythm you want. Are you going to produce a video every day? Are you going to produce a video every week or month or year? The point is you have to figure all that out. You have to figure out what works for what you're trying to do. That's a ton of work. You then have to write a blog post or a post for LinkedIn or the description in YouTube. Again, a lot of work. Then you got to figure out how to create and design thumbnails. Are you this visual graphics expert? Probably not. So you have to figure it out yourself or hire it to be done. The point is you have to gain a lot of different skills before you can become a content creator. And if you don't like doing all those things, again, it's not going to be for you. You have to love doing it to be consistent at it. Because if you don't love it, you're not going to do it. I know LinkedIn influencers that their whole job is obviously to create a following so they can probably sell something that they're trying to do, like a social branding coach or life coach or social media coach. That's really not what I want to do. I love building the community. I love meeting new people. And that's something I'm actually kind of bad at. I know some LinkedIn influencers that really post a video on LinkedIn and then stay afterwards for like an hour or two engaging with their community on the comments to create this great atmosphere. I don't have time to sit up for an hour or two after I post a video. I'll try to reply to comments after my video, but it's going to be another time when I'm probably not at work. So I don't have that immediate engagement. I'll get to most of them if I can, but a lot of times I don't. It's not because I don't want to. It's because I don't make money on LinkedIn. I make money at my job and I have priorities, and LinkedIn is just one of those things I do because I enjoy it, but also I have to do it after work hours because that's not what I get paid to do. Coming up with content is actually the hardest part for me. What to do a video on. That's the hardest part. I like the video editing. I like the cinematography. I like the lighting and the mic and all the audio compression and the video editing. That's fun for me. Content strategy is the hardest part for me because do I want to just create content on, for example, my job like Zoom? And I've done a ton of videos on just Zoom in and of itself. But sometimes I don't feel like doing a video on Zoom. Sometimes I want to do a video on personal branding or social media influencing or presentation skills or how to be successful. And those go outside of my niche, right? Because my niche really is creating videos for Zoom. But sometimes I want to share a lot more knowledge than just that. I want to share with you what I'm learning in life or what I have learned in life or some of my goals in life. And depending on what I post, you can see the difference on the engagement from a user perspective. For example, my greatest post that I posted this year had 0 video in it. It was literally just a picture of me. But I had in the description what I thought about London and my trip to Europe. Some of the differences between Europe and London and the United States, and some of the things I learned about traveling abroad that I wish the United States had. That by far had my greatest engagement this year. I think it was last time I looked, it was 180,000 impressions on that one post. 0 video involved. In fact, I was at the airport just waiting for my flight and I posted that. So I put a lot less effort into my highest producing posts than any of these other posts that I do, which is either good or bad because I haven't figured out the algorithm, obviously. I produce videos that took hours, maybe even days to do, and they get very little views. And I think they're amazing, But then you guys don't. You guys don't watch them. You don't engage on them. You don't thumbs up them. So that just shows you that maybe I'm a little out of touch sometimes with what I think is good versus what is good, especially on YouTube. That's a crapshoot for me. I am zero. I'm not a Mr. Beast. I produce these things because I think it's fun and I think it'll help. But not all the time do I get the reaction or engagement that I'm expecting. And that can be frustrating sometimes too. You're going to bomb a lot and you have to accept failure at some point. But I also only have so much time in the day. I happen to have a break here until my next meeting at 4:30. I'm actually supposed to be writing a script for a God a Minute series that I'm doing. But I just wrote one and I need to write two because I got to record tomorrow. I can't get the motivation to write that second one, but I know I have to. So I'll get it done next after this video. Maybe. So as you can obviously tell, I did not script this one at all. This one is literally just 100% winging it and go. And a lot of times those produce the biggest engagements I have because hopefully it comes across authentic. It's obviously not scripted. I have no idea what I'm going to say next. And a lot of times I'm saying a lot of stuff that I'm editing out that you don't even hear. God, did you hear that timer? That scared the hell out of me. Anyway, just some thoughts from an old man before he goes to his next meeting. Have a great day.